Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Ark Genesis. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to show you the best way to tame the Ferox. Now, there are several videos out there showing you how to do this, and yes, they were before me, but I have spent considerable time and game time really generally just looking at ways to tame this. Now, of course, there are two ways apparently you can tame this, and that is, of course, by feeding it element, which is a bit dodgy, and that does require a trap. You cannot use flyers on the map, so that's very important, and so therefore you will need to kind of bring the trap to it instead of bringing the dino to the trap. This is what you will need if you're going to use a trap, and if you're going to go down the element route, I'm just going to let you know it's going to be a more expensive way of doing it. There is a cheaper and easier way of doing it. I'm going to show you both methods just so you guys can see exactly what to expect and why I advocate for the cheaper, easier method, although you do lose 4 levels on it. So with that being said, and then I'm going to go and search for a Ferox, and I'll see you guys once I've managed to find one. And important to know is that the Ferox tends to spawn in a cave here in the mountain, as well as in the region of the map where the map is covered in this fog and mist and always stormy, so it's a bit difficult to see. Another thing to know is that you will need, of course, a trank gun. You do not want to use anything of high quality as it will kill the Ferox, and you will of course need trank darts. You can also punch it out, but I'd rather use this because it knocks it out fairly quick, as you can see. Once it is down, the torpor does go down fairly quick because it does not have a lot of torpor. So what you can do, should you want to, you can build a trap if you're going to use the element method. So I'm going to show you the trap for the element method of taming. However, whilst I've tried to use the element method, for me, I have not seen a taming bar, so I couldn't tell how far it tamed, and I did go through more or less 20 pieces of element without actually taming one for a 150, so to me it's quite expensive. However, people do want to use traps, fine, I'll show you how to trap it. So it's knocked out, it's not doing anything. Whilst it's sleeping there, I am going to build a trap. You start off by 2 foundations next to each other. You'll need some dinosaur gateways and some dinosaur gates, and then you'll need a stone door frame and a door and several walls. So we're going to start with the walls. We're going to place the walls here to enclose it in case it gets up. You want to do this fairly quick. Then on both sides you want to place the dinosaur gateways and the gate, of course. The idea is to keep it in, so we'll do both sides like that. Now you are really going up against time when you're doing this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. The idea is you want to keep it in there whilst it is small. So at this end, one more dinosaur gateway and gate, and now it's trapped in there. It's safe. You want to do this because they don't have a lot of HP when they are small like that, and anything and everything else that is hostile will want to kill it and will most likely one-shot it. So next up, I will need a stone door frame and a door, several walls, and some ceilings. So I'm going to try and place them off the Uteranus, but it's a bit derpy to see, so I'm just going to get off to do this. So I'm going to place a door frame. You can place it wherever you want, but you want a way in and out to access the trap. From this point forth, we're going to go with 4 wall tiles. It does not seem to damage the stone structures, and then we want to close it off with ceilings. Now, it's not necessarily able to drop out of the trap, but what I have seen happen is it will snag onto the door frame and then eventually jump out of the trap. So you want to kind of close off the trap with some ceilings. I can't seem to reach it from here. Always make sure that you shut the door, because if it gets up, it can't walk through the door when it's in its small form. So we'll place some ceilings. I think just 2 should do, but you can go with 4 if you want to overdo it and be extra secure. This means it cannot jump out of the trap, and the trap is perfect sized for when it's in its Hulk mode. Now that's one way of doing it. You just wait for it to wake up, then go through the door, feed it the element, and then walk back out. until it does its animation. So you've got enough time for it to do its transformation animation. The other way you can do it is, whilst it's knocked out, is to gather berries, and specifically you'll want the meho berries and the narco berries. You don't even need that many of them. Generally 5 narco berries will do if you want to raise its torpor, but you don't even need that, as you will see in a bit, and just a handful of meho berries. So I'm going to use the meho berry method. Now, of course, if you're going to knock it out to tame it and use this method, then you don't need to build a trap. All you really need are some spiked walls. Once you've knocked it out, surround yourself with spiked walls so that nothing can get through. It still has a bit of torpidity, so I'm going to take advantage of that. It's already starving, so I'll put in the narco berries. There we go. That should raise its torpidity, and just a handful of marrow berries. Bear in mind, I am doing this on a 1x taming speed, so it's very similar to official servers. And that's pretty much it. Very quick tame. You don't need element. Element is too expensive, and I would not waste element. Yes, as you can see, it does not tame at 225. It tames at 221, but who cares? That's good enough for me, and I don't have to waste element on it, especially for the purposes of taming. And as I've said, for 150 I ended up putting in around 20 element and still had not tamed it, so I kind of gave up from that point. I don't know what the difference is with element. I did not see a taming bar, so that's very important. I just saw it go into its Hulk mode and then want to attack everything around, so that might not necessarily be a taming method or how it's meant to be tamed, or it might be bugged. You guys can tell me, but I prefer the meho berry method. Now, once you've tamed it, you can feed it element. It is a bit derpy, I can tell you that. It's really annoying how derpy it is with regards to feeding it the element, so you have to put it in your action bar, then press the slot associated with it, whereas with other stuff like this, you just press E to feed it. It does have 2 attacks. It is a ground pound, which is on the right click, and on the left click it will do a swipe. Obviously, once it is in its rage mode or Hulk mode or whatever you want to call it, it does gain a significant increase in damage and in health, so you can use it. And it does harvest, as you can see, pelt, hide, and meat. It has the ability to jump on walls and climb walls, but it's a jumping method, which is quite cool. It's a different take on climbing walls, which we've seen in the past with different creatures. And another cool thing that you can do is you can sprint and jump and string sprints, and the more you do this, the quicker it ends up jumping. Another thing to point out with this is that if you feed it too much element, it will go into a rage mode, much like the Giga, which means it will attack pretty much anything and everything in its vicinity. And one thing that I really like about this creature is it does not have any fall damage, or at least at this point, at the time of making this video, which is what I'm going to show you. It can turn on the dime, which is very useful, and in its Hulk mode, it looks pretty darn cool. Also, as you can see, we have 2 bars. One is its addiction to element, and the other one is how long it's got until it goes back to its normal form. You can keep it in this form by feeding it some more element. So this is its jump. Now, if you're doing this on a flat surface or fairly flat surface, you can actually time them so that you can jump further and faster each time. Very, very amazing creature. Totally like this. You just have to bear in mind and keep in mind that it will go into a rage mode if it's had too much element, so you might want to have a couple of these. As you've seen, fairly easy to tame. You can cryopod them and carry them that way around, and I'm going to show you the feeding technique and animation. I am trying to move around and feed it. I am spamming the heck out of the key associated with the element on my hotbar, so it is a bit derpy with that. It can take a bit of getting used to, and I wish that gets fixed and we get a nice little prompt there. That would be very nice, or something in the radial wheel. It can be a bit derpy when you do this. Also, it doesn't require a saddle to ride, and when you have it on your shoulder in the snow biome, it does protect against the cold. that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. And of course, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment for myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.